Okay, so today I wasn't planning on making a video, but sometimes this happens, okay? So this VU meter is out of alignment, okay? So now it works perfectly, okay? You can see it working. But when you shut it down, it doesn't go all the way down. So I think there's something inside of here, some kind of a foreign object. Maybe it's a piece of plastic. Okay. Who the hell knows? Okay. So I'm going to have to take it out of the stack. Okay. And get it to the workbench. So we need to get inside that VU meter. And we need to find out why it's doing what it's doing. Now I've been trying to see with the magnifying glass, okay? Sometimes these cassette decks have foreign objects in them from the factory, okay? So, like inside of this one, you can see there's an object stuck on the needle itself, okay? It's very difficult to see in there. We'll add a little light to the subject. Okay. But you can see that little object on that needle. A little piece of plastic from the factory. Maybe that's a little contact cement or whatever. But it does not interfere with the operation of that VU meter. Okay, so I'm not going to bother to open it up and try to remove it. Okay, because it's not broken. It works just fine. Okay. But this one, okay, it works just fine. Like I said, the needle itself is not broken. If I tap on it, it will go down. But I don't want to do that right now because I want it where it is when I get it to the bench. So I can see what the hell is happening. Okay? So, like I said, it works just perfectly. Something is preventing it from going down. So, now whatever the hell's doing it, we want to try to figure that out. Okay? Because it could lead to another problem. Okay? If it grabs a hold of that needle and traps it, who knows what could happen. So, let me get this out of the stack, get it to the bench. Okay? And we will continue the video from there. So I'm going to pause this for now, and I'll be back. All right, well, we're at the workbench. So, to open this up, 2 screws on this side, 2 screws on this side, and this nice wood cabinet will come off. I'm going to pause this video. All right, with the top off, we have to tilt it up on its side. There's 3 screws in the bottom of the face because the face has to come off to get access to these meters. So I have to pull these 2 knobs off, okay? And So let me flip this up and get it on its side. Okay, 3 screws, one here, one down here. Okay, so let me take them out. Okay, now from in here, we have a screw here, a screw right here, another one over here. If you've never taken this off before, there will be blue Loctite. So if you run into Loctite, a Q-tip and some acetone, okay? So you'll have to remove any Loctite, okay? But this has been taken apart more times than I can remember. This is the one where I replaced the motor, okay? So the old motor had to be rebuilt and is now sitting inside the drawer. Okay, so here's the old motor working perfectly again. So, but I don't see anything wrong with this VU meter. The wires look just fine. So whatever the problem is inside this meter. So once I get the face off, we can get a better look at this, and then we can actually open this VU meter up. We can remove the plastic cover on the front, the lens, whatever the hell you want to call it. So let me get these 3 screws out of here. Okay. And I'm going to pause this video. Okay, so screws are all out. The face will come right off. Okay. Put that in a safe place. Okay, so trying to eat my goddamn cassette tape, are you? Nice try. Okay, so like I said, the needle does work perfect, except it doesn't go all the way back down. Now, if I tap on it, it will go back down. Okay? But I don't want it to get trapped when I press play. Okay? So, but we're going to open this up. Okay? There's just some tape around the edges here. Just regular Scotch tape is all it is. All right? It's nothing special. All right? It's not like a glue it shut. Okay? So a little Scotch tape, you know. All right. But what we're going to do is we're definitely going to unplug it before we go operating on it. So, I'm going to slide this little tie down, okay? Give these wires a little more room to move, all right? Okay. So now we got some access here, all right? So, so we're going to cut this tape. It's 40 years old, so the tape should just fall right off. Okay? you can see the tape is even turning yellow, okay? So let me get this cover off. Like I said, I'll just remove the tape, or I'll just cut it with a razor blade, okay? There's only tape across the top and across the bottom, so that's still from the factory, okay? But we're just going to cut this and we'll open it, okay? So, got to pause the video. All right, so with this lens off, and it did have tape across the top, and it had tape on the side going all the way around the rear to the other side, okay? So that was kind of a pain in the ass, okay, to cut that and get that off of there. So this does not look factory. So, but whatever. The tape is off. The cover's off. So we're going to see why the hell this meter is doing what it's doing, even though it works perfect. Sometimes this aluminum cover, okay, will fall off, okay? They'll become loose inside there, and they will fall down, and they will trap the needle. All right, that's not what's happening here, okay? This aluminum plate is just fine. So let's see if we can zoom into this and see what's happening. Okay, you see that little copper wire right there? I have a feeling that that little copper wire is our problem. So let's see what happens when we stop the cassette deck. I have a feeling that copper wire might be interfering with that needle. So I'm going to have to get out a magnifying glass to try to see if that is the problem. But that's what I think the problem is. So I'll get out the magnifying glass. I will get a closer look at that. And I'll be back. Okay, so what I've been doing is I blew some air inside the VU meter, okay? Checked its range of motion, okay, back and forth. Wiggled this needle forward and back, okay, left and right. Like I said, I blew it out with some air. All right, so I think it's doing pretty good, okay. All right, so it doesn't seem to be getting hung up anymore, okay. So who knows, it could have been some dust got in there, or maybe it just needed to be flexed, okay. Who the hell knows, you know. Maybe it was just being a bitch. I don't know, okay. So, but it's not rubbing on nothing. It ain't, you know. And it's working great. So that, like I said, just some compressed air, blow in it a few times, move it back and forth, make sure nothing's getting hung up in there. Okay, so I'm going to consider this fixed. I'm going to put this cover back on with some Scotch tape. So let me get the cover back on. I'll be back. Okay, so this cover's back on. Put tape across the top, across the sides. Do not use black electrical tape on the sides of the meters, because when you're sitting there watching it, you will see that black tape, okay, and it will look like shit. So use Scotch tape, see-through tape, so when you put it back together, you're not going to see the fucking tape, okay? So the meter is looking a hell of a lot better, okay? So shut it off. It goes back where it's supposed to go. Outstanding. All it needed was a little air. Blow in it real hard. You know, work the needle back and forth. Make sure it's not stuck. Who knows what the hell was in there, okay? Could have been dust. Who knows? But I'm just glad that it's doing what it is supposed to be doing. Okay? And going back to where it's supposed to go. So, now it's time to put the face on this. Okay? Put the knobs back on. Put the top back on. And, wow. Look at that. That's an old piece of belt from the flywheel. Wow. How long has that been there? It's going to turn to fucking goo. Unbelievable. I'm going to have to get me some Q-tips out, because that fucking thing will make a hell of a mess. That is the last thing you want. Getting caught up in your shit. Nice. Wow. Just sticks right to the Q-tip. It's so gooey that it came right off of there. Outstanding. I'm going to have to find somewhere to throw this fucking thing away. Alright, so I'm going to pause this video for a second and get the face on it. Okay, the screws are back in the bottom. Okay. I left the top screws to the face. I left them loose for right now, because we want to be able to wiggle those VU meters into the correct spots. All right. So let me pause this and lay this down. Okay. So once you make sure these VU meters are in the correct spots, you can tighten these top screws down the rest of the way. Okay. So you don't want them to be crooked. And like I said, if you was to use this black electrical tape on your VU meters, you would see it, okay? And it would look like shit. So don't use black electrical tape. Always use clear tape, okay? But so the meter looks like it's doing great. Okay? Right back down to where it's supposed to be. So there you go. All it needed was to be blown out. Okay? Work it back and forth. You know, something had to be in there. Probably some dust or something. Could have been a pubic hair. Who the hell knows? Okay? So, So yeah, I'm very happy with that. It's always nice when it wasn't such a big deal. Okay. So I got to get the knobs back on, get the wooden cover back on. So I'll pause this video. All right. So this is done. Excellent. All right. Now I got to get it back into the stack of stereo equipment, which is a pain in the ass, but you got to do what you got to do. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Party on.